This is Mike McWilliams, your host for this Sunday at Mike episode we're doing this evening. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to tune in, whether you're watching this live tonight or you're watching this in the rerun. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch because your time is a precious thing, I do know. Let me make some adjustments here. Yeah, looks good. Framing looks good. Finally got the horizontal thing figured out. So that's good. Um, yeah, the weather changed this week. Got real cold very suddenly within a few days. I understand the same thing happened in Japan, interestingly, I was being told. And it's kind of playing havoc with that issue I have with my nervous system. So I'm not very well this week. Was cranking tunes last night and forgot how amazing Zeppelin's No Quarter is. Amazing, yeah. That whole album, Houses of the Holy, I really think that that's got to be my favorite Zeppelin album. I was listening to the whole album the other day. And yeah, good stuff. For 55, 60-year-old music is not bad stuff. I agree with that. But yeah, I haven't been well this week, guys. So I am going to keep this to an hour tonight. I hope you guys don't mind. I do have a lot of points to make and a lot of things to share, so I'll try to see how much I can squeeze that in. If I feel better towards that hour mark, I'll go a little longer, but we'll see how I feel. But we have an old adage in show business. It says the show must go on. I was raised in a very show business kind of place, Los Angeles, among show business people. So I adopted that myself in my personal life. So I am here. Maddie Two Hats, welcome. So this week, interestingly enough, so I changed. So in my Partscaster Squire, I changed the. Hey, Mickey. Good evening. Good evening to you. So I changed the bridge and the block out of my Partscaster. I replaced it with a Fender replacement part. Ford's here. Welcome. Hey, I appreciate you guys showing up. To be honest with you, Ben, that's why I do it. Uh, what when computer desk do you use? This one? What computer desk? This one comes from. This is a music desk. It's got you can put in racks in here if you want to. And hey, Frederick, welcome. And I got it from Thomann here in Europe, relatively inexpensive, and I like it. It served me very well. It's actually better than the one I had in Singapore, which I thought was pretty good. You can see that in my past videos. Go back to when I was living in Singapore and look at that studio. But yeah, so I will persevere, guys. So I put the new bridge in. It's a Fender replacement part. And it works like a charm. It dropped in, no problems. And I have to say that I did expect things, like they say that if you put in a new block, you'll get yourself sustain. Things of that nature will increase. But actually, I think what it did for that guitar is it increased the tension. When you play it now, it feels a lot more responsive with that heavier block in there and those Fender saddles. So there is that. So I'm not getting so much more sustain. Acoustically, it rings very well, but it always did. So I don't expect that to change. Don Juan, hi Mike and everyone. Hope everyone had a good week. I do as well. Hope you guys had a good week. But interestingly enough, here are two of the Squire bridges. This one comes out of the Squire that I just replaced. And this was a 2003. This one comes out of the Squire Affinity that you guys know that was the first Strat that I bought. And I'll get to why I have this in my hand in a minute. But I noticed a couple of things. So this was 2001 Squire Affinity, and this is a 2002 Squire SE. And the Affinity actually has, in my opinion, a better block to it. You can see there's some design differences. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can see that. There's some design differences between these two, even though they're from the same factory and 2 years apart. The saddles are different. The saddles on the Affinity are actually note for note identical to the fender saddles that are the fender block that I just put on, and the saddles on there. Those are stamped fender. These aren't. But and actually, this is a heavier block, and but you know, between the two of these, and also you can't see, but there are different alloys that are being used in these as well. These are you can I don't know if you can see that, guys, in this light, but the coloring is quite distinctly different between these two. And so I found that interesting. Hi, Mike. Okay, read that one. So I don't know what you can make of that. I found something I found interesting this week. I stripped the Squire Affinity. I stripped it down actually yesterday afternoon. So this is the Squire Affinity body, everything stripped off of it. And I know that I said that for 21 years, nobody had taken this guitar apart, and I didn't want to be that guy. I started thinking about it, and I said maybe I should be that guy, because maybe it's time that it gets a little bit of a refresher and a little bit of TLC. Because this is an outer body. I can tell here by the neck pocket that quacks like a duck, swims like a duck, probably outer in here, like they say it is. And also, one thing I was noting is that the poly finish on this is very thin. It's not, you guys aren't going to be able to see that, but this, with a little heat gun and a little bit of work, this can be stripped. So that's what I'm going to, and also, whoever owned this the different owners, look at that. There is like 7 different backplate holes, different black plates screwed into the back of that. It looks terrible. So what I decided I'm going to do is I am going to strip this down to the outer. I'm going to repair the damage that's been done to it, fill in these holes, get it right again, get rid of all this gunk, 22, 23 years worth of gunk on this. One thing that clean it up, because that hole there for the ground is just terrible. That needs to be worked on. So generally, I'm going to take this, and it's going to be my next project. I'm going to strip this, refinish it, and then make a decision on what I'm going to do. Yeah, this will be my second one. This is not my first time at this. Yeah, you're right, at this rodeo. You're reading my mind. I was just about to say that it's not an easy thing to do. And one of the things that made me decide, because the finish on my telly, that was thick, and it's a lot of work. Yeah, I know, guys. I've done it. It's a lot of work. But one of the things that I see about this is that the poly on this is not so thick. I think a heat gun, a little bit of heat, a little bit of scratch. I think that a little bit of work, and I'm not saying it's going to be done overnight. It's going to take time. It took me months to get Monica Butterscotch stripped, and I had help. I was actually assisting the guy who was doing the finishing work on it. So 2 guys working on it, but I have a hand and an eye for it. So that's probably what, that's definitely what I'm going to do with this guy. So that will be a nightmare that I will share with you. I'm not looking forward to the stripping part. I am looking forward to refinishing this and giving this guitar a new life, because there's nothing wrong with this body. It's pretty sound. There's a few dents in it. That's easily repaired. So yeah, guys, I know what I'm taking on there, but I think it's something that's worth doing. So that's what I'm going to do with this. Interestingly enough, so that leaves me the issue of the neck and all the parts to the Affinity. What I'm going to do with that? Well, actually, one other thing that I'm going to notice, you guys know I have a blank that I have here under the desk. Gosh, my brain is not working. I have the blank for the guard, and what I'm probably going to do is turn this into a single and humbucker guitar, so SSH guitar. It's already swimming pool route in here, so that's not an issue. So I'll cut I'll cut that blank down there to turn it into it. So eventually that guitar is going to be a single humbucker. And probably the humbucker, if for right now in my mind, is probably going to be the bridge pickup from my Q pickups Dry Z. It's probably going to be in the bridge on that. But we shall see. That is a project that is going to span into next year. So stay tuned for that, guys. It should be interesting. But with the parts, as you know, I got scammed trying to find a body, and a week or so ago, I actually came across a Alder body. Shipped from China, so just the body, and painted, ready to go, white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop all of those parts. I'm going to take all of the parts out of that Affinity. I'm going to drop it into that new body. I'll put the Squier neck I have set aside onto that, and I will tighten it up, and that will turn itself into a brand new guitar. So that's where and then I'll get new parts for the new project. But that'll be something that I can do relatively quickly, throw that together. I'm just waiting for the body to come through, actually. So there will be another Squier Strat that I will have, and it'll just be SSS. I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm not going to change that, but yeah, that's what's going to happen with those parts. So those parts will go off to a brand new body and neck. And I'm enjoying this, guys. It's something, the cost of that body, actually, to be frank with you, it was 50 euros, less than 50 euros, plus some other parts that are coming with it, total 50 euros. And it seems to be a pretty good one. The shop's got good reviews. I don't know if it's one of those chips in shops that's pumping this one out, but it looked decent. So when that comes in, I will share that with you. Okay, and other things that happened this week. I've got a guitar that I briefly want to show you guys. It is quite something. You will not see this guitar very likely anywhere, anytime around. It is a very rare one, and it is something that just came in from Japan. This is for, excuse me guys, this is for one of my clients, this guitar, and it came in, and I thought that it would be a good thing to share with you tonight. Take a look at this. So what you guys are looking at, look at that back plate. You guys see the back plate like that? What you guys are looking at is a 1973 Yamaha Senkyuhaku Nanaju Sannen Yamaha SG guitar. So this is a true vintage guitar. This is 50 years old. All the parts on this are original, with the exception, somebody took the knobs off and replaced them with other knobs to get that kind of, I guess when you're working, Joe Bonamassa thing, you know which ones are your, for your top and bottom. This came in for my client. Blues Fan 63, welcome. And Matty Two Hat says, where's everybody watching from? I'm just curious, Mike. You don't have to read this. Oh, I read it already. Too late. I'm curious myself, so it's a great question. There's no bad questions here. Let's hit the like button for our man Mike. Thank you, Ben. So yeah, guys, this is truly, and to be frank with you, not an issue with this. Amazing, amazing. From Athens, Georgia. There we go. Sound off, guys. Where are you at? Where are you from? I'm in Amsterdam right now, as you guys know. For a 50-year-old guitar, this thing is immaculate. Immaculate. Um, I'm looking at this neck and it's looking like it's natto. That was very popular during that time for necks with a rosewood fretboard on it. A very interesting thing is I'm trying to note that rosewood fretboards really don't age that much. I have a 22, 23-year-old example, and now I have a 50-year-old example. And just looking at them, that's just something that I found interesting this week. The body itself is made out of walnut. So this is a walnut body. And yeah, all original. Like I said, frets are, I put them around 80%. There's no need for a fret change. They're very thin, but playable. This thing is ready to rock another 50 years. Check out those old style tuners on that. Illinois, Australia. Hey, everybody chime in. Where are you from? And yeah, look at those. I mean, that's just, old school vintage goodness there. So I thought I would share this, guys, with you. I am quite pleased that it arrived back. I mean, it not arrived back, it arrived here in one piece. That's always something that, I pray to the gods of trade that my stuff leaves Japan and ends up here in the same condition, and knock on wood, so far, in that case, it has. From Nova Scotia, long-term expat, 23 years in Italy now. Hey, there we go. I've been a lifetime expat. Well, getting close to more than half my life, yeah. I have a 77 Yamaha SG700, such a nice guitar, owned for 30 plus years. Oh, cool, Mickey. Yeah, these Yamahas from the 70s or something. So this is the Yamaha SG45, and from 1973, yeah. And the original pickups, so these are, what do they call these? The E2 or E3 pickups, something like that. People, back then weren't really happy with them, but now plugging into my amp and playing them through, they haven't gone monophonic, and frankly speaking, they've got some dig to them. They really do. A very rock sound to it. So this is a pure rock and roll guitar. Going to one of my rock and roll guitar player guitarists, artist here in Amsterdam. So I will be getting that to him, but I thought I would share that with you guys. And yeah, I think that's all of it. Excuse me, guys. Toronto, Canada in the house with Ben. Yes, sir. All right, let's move on to the topic tonight. Since I'm trying to condense all this down. The topic at hand, as I wrote in my title, is F Black Friday. Now, I'm not a clickbait kind of YouTuber, as you guys know. I don't very rarely put things in caps unless it's to emphasize a certain word. But I truly do mean this one. This one is you're gonna get, and with me not feeling well this week, you're gonna get a particularly ornery rant this week out of me. So get the popcorn ready, get your booze ready, take your shots every time I say what the F. You won't make it 5 minutes. And where did all this start? Well, I got this magazine in the mail. This is from Bax. Bax Music is the guitar center of the Netherlands, in my opinion. It's the equivalent of the Guitar Center, whereas Thomann would be more like Sweetwater. So it's a very accurate description of the two of them. Thomann is the equivalent for you guys in the States with Sweetwater. and Bax is the equivalent of Guitar Center or maybe Long and McQuaid's in Canada. And I got this magazine just in time for their Black Friday deals. Korting is the Kortingdag, or sales day is the Dutch phrase for it. And I got, and this is on a day where on my YouTube feed, I was getting inundated with the, as you guys have as well, in TV commercials when you're watching stuff with Black Friday deals, because you're being targeted. That's what the AI does. It targets you. But the magazine was the one that put me over because I've never gotten anything from them before, and I've spent some money with them. And the one time that they do want to reach out to me is to proclaim their Black Friday courting. Now, I took a look on the web at, speaking of Sweetwater and Guitar Center, to see what their current sales atmosphere is. And I think you guys will find this interesting. This is where I'm going to start my rant at. Right now, you get a 10% off deal at Sweetwater that has lasted from November 2nd until the 15th. There's a 10% off sale. Guitar Center, it's the same deal from November 2nd until November 16th, so one day more, 10% off. Now, last time I checked my calendar, Black Friday was the 24th of November. Now, I haven't lived in the States for decades now, but the last time I checked, and according to my brother, that is the fact. And so, interesting there. So that leads to the question, are deals going to be worse, better, or the same between the 16th or the 15th, depending upon Guitar Center or Sweetwater, and the 24th? What do you think? And what do I mean by that? Well, by the way, that 10% off, add your sales tax and you're back to the same price on that anyway, by the way. No, what I mean is, and I'm giving these examples, is that Black Friday has turned into Black November. Black Friday has turned into Black November. Differentiate for me, guys, dig if you will the picture of these two organizations, and it's the same here with the two, that Bax and the other Thomann, where you got these sales starting the 2nd of November. See, you know, I remember a time when Black Friday meant something. I remember a time when it was a day. It was a specific day. It wasn't, you know, like a month-long, you know, fiesta. It was a specific day. And because it was a specific day, retailers would always try to put their best foot forward. Now, you're getting what? What does this really mean? If it's no longer Black Friday day and it becomes Black November, then to me, that's just, you know, business as usual. Prove me wrong. You know, it's gotten to the point where it really is getting hard to find legit deals out there. Because, you know, well, I saw one guy, you know, I perused the forums, and this one guy was pointing out that, yeah, I bought XYZ pedal, and at the end of last month, at the end of October, and they were saying, you better, it's the end of October sales month, you better hurry up and get on this deal, because it's going to be the end of the sales on this thing. And he bought it. And he said that when the November 2nd through 15th deals kicked in with them, it went back on sale again for 10% more off. And he was like, what the F? Now, some of these retailers will, if you buy it and then they later on advertise it within a certain period of time, I think 30 days, for a lesser price, they'll refund you the difference. But still, I think the point here is that when are you really ever going to find a legit deal in this kind of circus atmosphere? I'm with you, Mike. F the consumer cycles, and that's what it is. See, it's one of those consumer cycles that I always talk. It's the Bernays that I've been talking about here, since day one. You know, and it's an amazing thing to me. I thought maybe, okay, maybe it's guys in my generation who still can get, reeled in, suckered in with this Black Friday crap, because in our mind psychologically that was a day, and that was a day that had meaning. I mean, hell, there's TV sitcoms. I was watching New Girl the other day, and the whole thing was, after Thanksgiving, getting in line for the Black Fridays. It was a particular thing. And like I said, it has morphed into Black Friday month. And frankly speaking, with the way that things are going in terms of retail sales, with stuff is not moving. Stuff is not moving on Reverb. It's not. I'm getting bombarded with offers. So it's starting to feel like Black Friday year. Sometimes. And it's in that psychology. I told you this is a group discussion that we had to talk ourselves off the ledge. And so it behooves me with Black Friday coming up to be that guy with the megahorn. Hey, don't jump. Don't do it. That's me tonight. Because I want to point this out to you that it's really hard to find a legit deal these days. And with that being said, it seems to me that the only legit deals that you're going to get are on the secondary market. Why even screw around going to these stores when, people have eyes to see, and those prices, those pandemic prices on Reverb and eBay and the usual suspects are starting to fall down. They're starting to fall in line. Even matter of fact, they're starting to cow down and drop even lower because it's just not moving. People have eyes to see. They can see these things. So why would I walk into a shop with this bogus 10% off that is really just a sales tax in some states, and some, in my case, you can double that, by the way. And you really have to say to yourself, maybe this is something that I don't need to participate in. It feels like a perpetual sales event. It's starting to feel like a perpetual sales event. And I think that, if you approached it where you said, okay, these are the things that I want to get. It was mentioned earlier. Let me scroll back here and go back to the very top. Interesting title, since I'm hoping the Marshall amp goes on sale for Black Friday. See, if you have a list, if you say, okay, these are the things that I'm looking around that maybe there's some way I can take advantage of these with this Black Friday sales. If you make a list and you say, I'm not going to be enticed by anything else. If they say, hey, we're giving away, authentic 1959 Les Pauls with a pack of strings, every purchase of a pack of strings, don't go for it. Hey, the 59 is not on my list. So I always want to give solutions. I don't want to just spout off on problems. I'd like to throw out solutions. And one of those is, if you are going to participate in the Black Friday, make a list. These are the things that I want to get, and this is the price that I'm hoping to get it. And if it doesn't exceed, and make it your you can even make it slightly ridiculous too, because it's a Black Friday sale, right? It's supposed to be this awesome, deal. So if it doesn't meet your expectations there, and you're like, well, they're about $50 off, 60 whatever bucks off, then that'll give you, if you've got it down, you've written it down, eye brain contact kind of thing, it'll give you more pause on thinking before you hit that button on that. Just a suggestion. Um, the and also, by the way, this perpetual state of being on sale that we find ourselves in, because what was it, the Halloween sale that we got and Christmas is right around, because you're gonna have the Black Christmas, whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it in the States. I kind of lost track. If companies had excess inventory after Christmas, that's the best. Thank you, Sunbase. You always are. You man, you know, you see where I'm going with this, and that's exactly correct. The best deal is that they want to convert inventory to cash. I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again this year. I would keep my powder dry personally, and I am, with the exception when clients ask for things. As a business, I will buy things, but for myself personally, I'm building my own guitars now. As you know, I bought an amp that I didn't even think I was going to get as a result of these guitars, but I didn't buy it. I traded for it, so I feel good about that. But I'm even with the few things that I do need around here that I would like to do. I'm going to wait until January, as was just stated, because that's when all that's the 1 month that people have got to liquidate. And that's, I think, is where your best chance, your best opportunity to get a deal if you walk into a shop is. I'm looking for hundreds off. Yeah, and that's okay, Dewey. And that's what I'm saying. But you've got to write it down. You got to write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper, the Marshall amp, put the number, and you can even circle it. Because again, if they're going to fight us with psychology, then let's fight back using psychology. And this writing things down, putting a number down, and that's ridiculous or whatever, hundreds off. That's what I would do. And if it doesn't meet or exceed that, then it'll give you pause on it. You'll think about it a little bit, and you may look for alternatives, or you may move on to the what can I get this on the secondary market? I'm always encouraging buying secondary than new, because it'll keep these manufacturers from overproducing stuff. We won't give them the false impression that we need this. And yes, it'll cause them to scale down their production, but in my opinion, that's a good thing. I told you. Tractor trailer of wood every shift is not a sustainable thing. And the prices, excuse me, the prices show that. The falling of the prices, the excess inventory, the cutting of sales orders by vendors, all of this stuff, man, it's that snowball from hell I've been talking about also. So the listed price is starting to feel like the inflated price. And the sales price is starting to feel like the real price, if you guys follow me on what I mean by that. And therefore, to me, I'm like, well, if you're willing to do that, then that means that's, I know how the game works. I know margins. I know sometimes, the manufacturer will pay the dealer the difference just to get it out so they can move on. There's a lot of deals and stuff, moving pieces in that particular clock factory. So I'm hip to all of them being my business, but still in all. And as I said, Black Friday, when it was a specific single day, actually meant something. And I'm just got to the feeling that it's a perpetual sales push. And so F that. Seriously, F that. We don't need that, and And is it gonna work? I guess again, I was alluding to guys of my generation. Maybe because it meant something to us, maybe we will fall for it. But to see the younger generation fall for it when they kind of grew up with very ambiguous Black Friday. I'm with you, Mike, with buying used. But everything I own music-wise is used, so I decided the amp would be new. No, that's beautiful, man. I like that. That's a beautiful story. I like that, Dewey. That's cool. See, that's righteous in my book. You're treating yourself to something new because all along you've been doing, the right thing. And trying to give good equipment a new home. But that's good. That's righteous. Got nothing to say on that. but still write it down and figure out a price and say to yourself, are they going to meet or exceed this price? And, if they come within a reasonable amount in your mind, then it's something that you can do. But that's psychological. Now you've written it down, you've committed to it, you've got kind of something in your head, and they can bamboozle you or say, hey, look at this shiny object over here, And it's something that I do. I write it down. No, that's groovy, man. Treat yourself to a new one, but shop around for it. I think by January you can get it new in the box for whatever deal these guys are going to offer you coming up here shortly. My opinion. So if you're not in a hurry, it might be worth sticking around and waiting for. You might be able to get that amp, and with the excess money, have some money to do something else. So there's always that patience. Sometimes we have to have patience. We have to put aside that emotional desire to be immediately gratified. The stronger that you have with the ability to put away immediate gratification, the better off you will be in a lot of aspects of your life. A lot of aspects of your life. If you can somehow have the self-control and willpower to say, hey, I'm not going to be Veruca Salt. I want it now. I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to delay my satisfaction. And when you lay it, sometimes a magical thing happens. It's happened to me with these Strats. That something better came along. Or, I changed my mind, or what I originally wanted came along, but it came along at a better price. That made it make sense, financially, keeping to a budget. So that's one thing, it's tough. Believe me, I was setting up my pedal board. As you know, I shifted the pedal board that used to be here over to the front room. In there, it now resides with the 2 amps. And I took off I had 3 pedals on there, the Nobles I showed you guys, the Nobles, the Klon copy that I have, and the Rat pedal. I actually took the Nobles off because I realized that honestly, my Klon copy, which came from a company, I looked it up, I looked at the receipt, it came from Sapphire Audio out of Los Angeles. It was a 1-for-1 recreation of the original Klon, all the components, things of that nature. It was kind of redundant to have that. That as a clean boost, that thing works wonders. But then I began to, as I told you, look into getting an ABY pedal. You can see that in the community section of this channel. So just go to community, click on that, and you can see a picture of the ABY pedal that I bought. Now, I want a tuner. The A of that's going to go to, for now, I'm not going to run in mono, the 2, though I could. But one of the A channel is going to go to either one of the 1x12s when I'm using them. The other one is going to be dedicated to a tuner. And I want the tuner now. And I was flipping through Toma, I was flipping through Believe It or Not box music, looking at the prices, and I said to myself, you know what? Let's not do that now. You've done this, you've done this. I think you're good. You can delay. I don't have a tuner right now because I didn't think about it when I traded the Zoom MD in for the Fender Champs, one of the pedals I traded in for. I forgot that was my tuner. So I don't have a tuning pedal in this house. I don't have one. Because the one I had a spare, but I said, hell, the one on this Zoom is so great. I don't need this one, so I traded that off for another pedal or something. And now I've got 0. And so I want one, of course, because as it stands, I have to use the tuner on my iPhone actually to tune my guitars. But I'm going to delay the Satisfy because I want to get a good one. I want to get a good quality one. Those Fender, was it Fender puts those out, I believe, the Black series or whatever. Those look great, but I'm not spending that kind of money on that kind of pedal. It will come down, or I will bump into it, or one of my safaris, I'll see a tuner pedal sitting there all by its lonesome that I can give the guy $10 for or €10 for and walk away. As bad as I want, and I would dare say need a tuner, yeah, this would be a need. I actually do need a tuner because I've got none. And what I'm doing right now is not great, but I'm going to delay that. I'm going to put that off because I think I've done enough on my personal side for my personal stuff, and keeping to the budget. But something to think about, guys. Write it down. Keep a Black Friday list. This is my Black Friday list. These are all the things that I'm anticipating that I want to buy. And then put a price next to it that you think is reasonable, something that you think is within expectations, but what you think that a true sales value on that would be. 20%, 30%, 40% from retail. You decide that yourself, and then stick to that list. Stick to it. And don't let anything else distract you. Don't buy anything that's not on that list. Don't even consider it. And if they don't meet your expectations in terms of price on that list, don't buy it. Mike, get yourself a start clip on for now. They're accurate. Mine is closer. Yeah. Kind of like elections. They used to only be one day, dig that. I feel the slippery slide into something that is not, again, man, I'm sorry to take you down that rabbit hole. But all this stuff just feels like a slippery slide that is not beneficial to the consumer. I don't know what a legit deal is anymore. So therefore, I'm not interested. You can send me all the Black Friday magazines in the world you want to. If I had a parrot, I knew what I could line its cage with. But I give two shits because, it might have choked Artie, but it's not going to choke me. It's an old Stymie quote. And I'm just not going for it. And so there that is. But everybody's got to make decisions. But I think, just keep that in mind, guys. Think about that. Well, they had their October sales event. Then, 2 days after the start of the next month, they started their November sales event. I thought their November sales event was supposed to be Black Friday. So, what the F? And that's why I titled this, What the F, or F Black Friday. Because it's becoming nonsensical. If you step back and look at these things, don't, the forest for the trees, so to speak. As I try to do. You step back and you look at them and you're like, dude, this is just Black November. And that 10% off is not really helping you. That's just a sales tag. It's plus minus zero as far as the retailer is concerned. So, dig that, guys. Take that in consideration. What time is it? Oh, 44 minutes in. Well, I haven't killed over dead yet. Yeah, interestingly enough, I think so. That's where I'm at with the F Black Friday, guys. Our main topic for the evening, and I think I made again, salient points. I think that I demonstrated that these sales are bogus by their very nature. BlueFan63, they have to discount by 30% to make it feel like discount right now with these current prices. That's what I was saying. For me, It's 40%. I want to see 40% off of that because you're not moving that item. And I know come January, as Sunbase pointed out, you're going to be down there. You could do, So if this is a waiting game, I can wait you out because I've got the one thing that you want, and that's money. You got that item, which it's cool and neat to have one or two of them, but when you got a warehouse full of them, that's kind of a bitch. So who can wait out who? See, I'm telling you that you have the power. As a consumer, you have the power. You can wait these guys out. You can say, I'm not playing your games. A wise man once said, I'm good. Yeah, sick old man, wise man. Yeah, but in any case, yeah, I'm good. That's where I'm good comes into play. You're like, you guys are BSing me. I'm good. Black November, I'm good. You got a warehouse full of stuff and you're going to give me a 10% off? I'm good. I'll see you in January. Just step back. Look at it from 30,000 feet, I always say. I always try to look at problems and situations from 30,000 feet because when you're caught up in it, you can get emotional. And that's the key thing, is to play on your emotions. Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. You guys know that quote? What movie is that one from? But it's true. And they're playing with your emotions to get to your money. And if you can take that out and you can say, I'm good from the start and realize that you're the one that's in the position of power, then they're going to have to come back to the table with something better. They're going to have to come back to the table with something that's going to work, or they'll go out of business. That's just the end of it. So they're going to have to do something. Half a loaf is better than none. So they will, come January, they will settle for a half a loaf. And that's just my opinion. That's right. You got it. Big worm, yep, there it is. Big worm. Big perm. Don't call him that in his face. Yeah. But that's what they're doing. They're playing with your emotions to get to your money. Flashy. Gotta get one by one. I always point that out because that's exactly what it is. Let's look at it from 30,000 feet, guys. Let's look at it from 30,000 feet. It's a lot different view than when from you're on the ground. And if you can take that 30,000 foot view on it, you'll see that I'm good. I'm good, guys, because you're going to need me coming up here. And so we shall see if you can hold it off. Now, if you got to buy your gifts and your presents and you got to buy stuff for your family, stuff like that, that's a different story. I have to catch up in the AM. Hey, man, thank you for showing up. House Don't Phone. Please, thank you so much for even stopping in and saying hello. I do appreciate it, sir. Mickey Newman says, limited numbers, only today, buy now, right? Well, look at that. That's why I was saying that story. They told that cat on that pedal, look, the October sales event, it's going to end soon. You better get it now. And then 2 days later, they had it up for sale again for less. What the F? Everyone take a shot. What the F? They're screwing with us, guys. I can't think of any other way to explain it. It seems to me, if I were to look at it logically, they're screwing with us. And I refuse to play. So, yeah, fuck Black Friday. Oops, I actually said it, sorry. We'll beep that one out later. Because it's just, it's turned into, the let's make a deal. It's like a game show. and quite frankly, nothing behind door number 1, 2, or 3 is really that great. Premier Guitar has a Black Friday mystery box that if you pay $43, they'll send you a mystery box full of stuff that they couldn't sell last year. That it was either going to go to the landfill or be returned back to the manufacturer. But now they said for $43, Again, like I said, guys, a half a loaf is better than none. And that's where these retailers are going to be at. So, something to keep in mind, something to consider. Um, yeah, something to consider. I myself, I'm enjoying building these strats because, I should have brought it in here. I wanted to bring you the neck in so you could see the woodwork that I did to it. I told you there was a really good where it had obviously fallen on something, the neck had fallen on something sharp edge and put a good, dent in it. And not only was I able to smooth that out, it looked, you still see the dent there. It's not a miracle. You're not going to make the dent go away visually. But now it actually looks like it's an imperfection underneath the wood because I filled it in, scraped it in, just sat there and sanded it and felt it, sanded it some more, felt it until it felt right. And doing that kind of hands-on work with the guitar, now I've bonded with that. When putting it together, I bonded with that particular thing. Stripping, the impossible chore coming up of stripping, it's not possible. It can be done, guys. I wouldn't take it on if I didn't think I could do it. But stripping this one and turning it into something really nice. See, that's why I'm good, because I got these wonderful things that are contributing to my musicality, my understanding, my appreciation of these instruments, and bringing satisfaction. And I really think that's something that you should all always try to strive for. And we're going to shop within this industry, and we never have sales days. We have fair street pricing on everything every day. Also, for staff working those big sales days, absolutely sucks. It does. It does. Because especially if you're getting commissions, you're getting commission on something on sale. Yeah. If you have fair, good pricing all year round, then people will trust you. And they'll say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give these guys business because I feel as though when I walk out, I don't feel like I have an extra asshole. I don't walk out limping. I didn't get screwed. And so, yeah, that's awesome. And that's the type of folks that I like to deal with. I really am cautious now that getting scammed has led me away from anything. If I can walk and I can hold it and pick it up and put it on my arm and bring it home, then I'll do it. If I can't do that, then I'm only going to buy from retailers. And because I despise them so much, I'm looking overseas to China and Japan to try to find these parts and pieces. And in the case of Temu, you can get a lot of stuff off of it that you need to fill in those little things that are way cheaper, including shipping, than I can buy it here. So, and it's all the same stuff. I always find that what I want is never on sale. Everything but. Yeah, dig that too. It's funny, that XYZ doohickey like this, they're blowing these out. But, the thing that you do want, no, it's not up on sale. Why is that? The shop I worked at, Mickey Newman, the shop I worked in for many years would price match any store on new gear and could do great deals on used gear and trade-ins. Yeah. Yeah, again, price matching is something that I respect. That's why I do business with Dykeman Music here down the street, because if I go to Edwin and say, hey, Edwin, X, Y, and Z over here is doing this for this price, can you match it? He says, no problem. And I appreciate that. So, yeah, that's something that I can dig. Andrew357 says, what's the name again and spelling of that part shops, please? Yes, it is Temu, Temu. Just go to Temu, type that in on your search bar, it will come up. It is not just a parts shop, sir, it is an everything shop. It is the dollar store of China. It's an aggregate website where all of these small sellers and small makers of everything from a coffee mug to a Strat parts. They aggregate all these small shops, put it on their website, and you can order those pieces. And as a matter of fact, that's where the Strat body is coming from. It's coming from Temu, the one that I ordered. That's an outer body guitar as well. Same exact dimensions as a standard Strat body, a Fender Strat body. I suspect probably maybe pumped out of a factory that has the plates for an actual Fender. Chipson type thing, if you will. Thanks, I found it. It's like AliExpress, yes. But I'll tell you, I would deal with Temu before I dealt with AliExpress 1,000 days because I've had some orders come through now. I've had my first one come through. This came from Temu, my rest holder, along with some tuners that I put on a guitar that I was the donation guitar. And it came through like a charm. And if they don't deliver on a certain date, they give you some money back. So they've been solid. I can't wait for the body to show up. Again, it's an outer body just like this one. Again, the dimensions which they give you, they list, are exactly the same as a Fender. So full body Strat body is coming through from Temu. Cost me, list price on that was $119 from the dealer. By the time all the discounts and things that I got applied to it, again, I paid $50, less than $50 US for it. And that's including some other little bits and pieces that I bought. So quite a bargain to be had there if you know what you're looking for. As a matter of fact, this week, my show that I'm going to be putting out is going to be very short, but it's going to be talking about Temu. And what I think about it. So that will be coming out on Wednesday. I decided to put out my regular content every Wednesday. That way you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to watch that, and then my live stream hits. You've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just to keep things going here. And I might actually start doing some pop-up lives here. I spoke to Fern. I might actually go and do a live stream from his shop. He's very interested in doing that. So a lot of stuff coming up here, guys. All right. I am going to call it short tonight. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut this a half hour short tonight, guys. As you know, this week I was not well. Sitting here talking to you guys, I have definitely started to feel better. That is the beauty of spending time with you guys. I really pick up on the energy, and it gives me and even though I literally crawled in here and sat myself in this chair here at the end of an hour later, I'm feeling better and energized again and ready to face next week. But I am going to call this short tonight and go to bed and rest myself. And get this guitar to my client and do my work and try to avoid Black Friday. I don't think in my case that's going to be a big issue because I'm not even studying it. I'm not even. I give 2 Fs. I really do. But if it works for you guys, then all the more power to you. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry I'm ill. But next week I'll kick it. I'll make it up. I'll kick in a little bit extra time next week. Keep the interesting topics going as usual, and bring you guys some food for thought, something to think about. I hope that tonight's show gave you something, although brief, gave you something to think about. I want to thank you guys for tuning in this evening and bearing with me. And I really do appreciate everything that you guys have done in terms of supporting this channel. I'll put in the plug for the Asanoki Ants in the Pantry album on Bandcamp. If you haven't bought a copy of it, please do buy a copy of the album or one of the singles. You can preview it for free. Preview it for free. And support this channel. It's the only direct way, really, of supporting this channel. I don't ask for super chats or donates or anything like that. I put together something that I could sell to you that I think is of value and I think that you can enjoy. So if you haven't bought one yet, do so. This week, again, we'll be talking about Temu. So if that's of interest to you, take a look at that content when it pops up in your feed. And until the next one, you guys take care. Bye bye. Have a good one, guys.